Greetings. Good morning. Hello. Welcome to Kuan Yin practice. Um, I am just going to wait for a second so that folks can join in because I know there are a few people who are diehard chanters with me who might want to know the information. But in the meantime, I'll share that last week we had power outages. And so we had and internet outages. The internet was out for 5 days, which honestly, in certain ways, was amazing and blissful, and in other ways was like frustrating. But here we are now. So I'm back. And I have an announcement. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into that, which is that I feel like rather than committing to daily devotions with my upcoming year's schedule, I am going to just start doing devotionals when I can. So there's not going to be a set schedule because when I'm traveling, I can't do it. If I have to go and visit, like my mom, or if I have to go to an appointment. So it feels like it's best for me to move my chanting schedule to an irregular schedule rather than a regular schedule. I had thought that I could kind of come back to it at least for the rest of the year, day by day. And in some cases, I can. But in other cases, I am forced to concede that I have to just follow the schedule as is, and there will be variables. So that we know that. We are in the month of Santa Muerte in the Mount Shasta Goddess Temple, just coming to the end of the month of honoring her. We kicked off this month with a visit. I went to Tepito to the shrine of Santa Muerte. And I also went to the shrine of Santa Muerte that is beneath the Basilica de Guadalupe in Mexico City. So those two visits kicked off my devotional time for Santa Muerte. And now we're coming to the end of her month. During this month, I've been lighting her candles and honoring her. Got some new objects for her altar, like a new little offering dish, and have given her my focus. Sometimes people have asked me in the goddess mandala, when you're working with a goddess for like a month, what about all the other goddesses? They're all always here. It's just that I have specific months where I am particularly giving that attention to the things that I know I need to do for them. So it could be that in their month is when like I go ahead and pick up that book I've been meaning to read, or I do a deep dive into some aspect of their symbolism, or I take a look, more closely at their mythos, or I take apart their altar and put it all back together. It depends on every goddess, but giving each goddess a month, it's really, I'm not giving it to her. I'm giving it to myself, a dedicated time to do tasks related to that goddess. But it doesn't mean that they're not all always around. They're all always around. So hopefully that will kind of clear that up for folks who have been asking. And so now let's get into it. We are going to draw a card from the Jade Oracle by, it was written by Veronica Iglesias and Anne Key with artwork by Ramona Snoteo. And it feels like forever since we've been at this deck because I was away for the couple of days at the end of the week before last, and then last week I was without power and internet. So let's see which card comes up for us today. Our message for as we kind of move into this last week of November. Sintear, the Lord of Corn, El Señor del Maíz. Sintear is here, there, Sinteatl was widely honored because corn was the principal crop that sustained life for the ancient Mexica. He represented the corn plant, its green color similar to jade, and he was revered along with Chicomecuatl and Xilonen, also corn deities. He was also honored by artisans who worked with precious stones such as jade, crystal, and amber. When Sinteatl appears, be aware that you have the capacity to create everything that you need for your basic sustenance. Reconnect with your inner power of creation. So, Sinteatl reminding us everything we need, we already have the capacity to create. And this is a message that I think is for all of us, but I especially feel like I'm talking to my sisters and women out there. We are the makers of life. Let's just not forget what the actual most important job on the planet is. That's all. Um, and further, I do firmly believe that within a corrupt system, we do have to really remember our power and our ability to create what we need. And further, if we are living within a system that is filled with greed, financial corruption, so many different issues facing beings who are just trying to make their way in the world, then I think the responsibility is even greater to take that radical stance to become a creator. To be that creator in the world is to be the agent of change. Let's not forget, it's always been the creators who manufactured the next waves of culture. And it's a job so very important that we can't just leave it to chance in a way. We have to take responsibility for creating what we do want, because I think probably a whole lot of us are good and tired of passively receiving what we don't want. So that's our short message for today. We are not passive recipients of a world that is beyond our control. We are creators of the world we want to live in. And there are many worlds in this one world. So even if your world that you want to live in is just the land you live on, it's good enough. If it's bigger than that, even better. That's our short bit for today, if that's what you were here for. Now we're going to dive into our practice with 3 prostrations before the shrine of Kuan Yin. And let's take refuge. Namo Guru Be. I take refuge in the inner teacher. Namo Buddhaye. I take refuge in the great mother of compassion. Namo Dharmaye. I take refuge in the wisdom of the ages. Namo Sanghaye. I take refuge in the community of practitioners. And let's set an intention, a person, place, situation, or circumstance that will benefit from today's practice. And today we're holding Karen's father, who's having a procedure. And I'd also like to ask if we can hold Albert, who's got a big drive to do today. And it's not been such great weather. And let's recite the 4 immeasurables. May I be a source of loving kindness in this world and all worlds, bringing a generous heart to all my thoughts and doings. May I be a vehicle of compassion in this world and all worlds, ever mindful and aware of the tremendous suffering of others. May I be a brimming vessel of joy in this world and all worlds, delighting in the happiness of others as their suffering is alleviated. May I be a balance point of equanimity in this world and all worlds, seeing all as equals and all as deserving of goodness. And let's make our offerings. I light this candle as a symbol of the enlightening Dharma way. May it shine brightly for the benefit of all beings. I light this incense as an offering to Kuan Yin, she who hears the cries of the world, mother of all. Omahung. 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 Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind and present clouds of every type of offering, actual and virtual. I confess all my destructive actions accumulated since beginningless time and rejoice in the meditation of all holy and ordinary beings. Please, Kuan Yin, remain until the end of samsaric existence and turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of others to the great enlightenment. All right, 108 recitations of Namo Kuan Yin Pusa, awakening that part of ourselves that is Kuan Yin's compassion and that is the eternal creative drive. Namo Kuan Yin Pusa, 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 Namo Guan Shin 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 Pusa. And our prayer for the money reciter of Calm by Gyaltse Tokme Zangpo. Lama dang kun shiksum lakchat salo dakni changchutni por chike bar gangdang gangdu kipa de dang der tadu tuje champo chitsinching gusum gewe chila chipar sho jamdang ninje champo kunlang ni tuje champo duljar kipa nam lame changchu chola gope chir tuje champo chinleje par sho. Homage to the Guru and three jewels from now until I reach the essence of awakening, wherever I may be reborn in that place. May I always follow the great compassionate one and dedicate my body, speech, and mind to virtue. Inspired by loving kindness and supreme compassion, in order to lead all Mahakarunika's followers to supreme and unsurpassable awakening, may I carry out the great compassionate one's activity. Lama Dankun Chiksun Machaksalo, Dakni Changchutni Por Chikebar, Gangdang Gangdu Kepa de Dangder, Tadu Chije Champo Chizinching, Kusum Gewe Chala Chapa Sho, Chamtang Nije Champo Kunlangne, Tuje Champo Dojargana Gerpanam, Lame Changchut Chala Go Pechir, Tuje Champo Trinle Je Parsho. And now 108 recitations of Om Mani Padme Hum, sending out our creative energies and our benevolent energies and our loving energies to all who need them today. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And let's give thanks for our teachers. May all of my blessed teachers enjoy long, happy, healthy, productive lives and great support for their good works. May all beings benefit from their wisdom. May they enjoy a swift and happy rebirth. And long life prayer for Lama Dechen Yeshe Wangmo. Om Sosti. Through the powerful blessings of the immortal Pema Jungye and his consort, may the three secret qualities of the Dakini of supreme bliss, Yeshe Wangmo, be utterly stable, and may the light of her activities shine on the lotus groves of the teachings and of beings so that they blossom in radiant splendor. And let's dedicate the merit. May the merit of this practice and all of my activities be of endless benefit to all beings in all realms, beginningless and continuous. May all obstacles be overcome and suffering cease at the sound of liberation. May all beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all beings have happiness and its causes. May we carry the essence of Kuan Yin in our hearts. Namo Guan Yin Pusa. And we close with bow to Kuan Yin, bow to one another, and a bow to the inner teacher. And wishing everyone a brilliant day of creating the world that you want to live in. See you hopefully tomorrow.